Yo, 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 yo. What's up, yo? Word. No doubt. Y'all already know. It's your boy, Big Lou, tapping back in with what it do with Big Lou. NFC R2, baby, baby. but people, wait a minute, but people. That sounds like a particular somebody from the southern part of the sunny state, or whatever they call Florida, 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 Florida. Anyways, if it's your first time you're coming to this channel at here at What It Do with Big Lou, it would be highly appreciated if you sub, which stands for, which is short for subscribe, like and share the channel with your family, friends, folks, people, gente, buddies, pals, amigos, and like us Puerto Ricanos, Boricuas, Jibaritos, Potorros, Ricans, PRs, Caribeños, say panas. Vaya, we got one in the chat. We got one in the chat. How you doing? Don't know who you might be. Don't know if you'll say hello, saludos, bendiciones, hello to you, blessings, any of those things. Nonetheless, welcome, bienvenido. Uh, yeah, just gonna drop this, but now it doesn't matter because it's considered the next day now, right? It's midnight here in California, Pacific Standard Time. It is 12:02, 12:03, and so technically this is tomorrow. I changed the time like three different times, and I originally it was 11:10, then it went to 11:30, then I think 11:50 or 11:55, and now it's late. Saul Fernandez. You like panadas or empanadas? You're talking about food, right? Empanadas. Yeah, I like them too. They're good. Um, so yeah, but you know what I mean. I decided to drop a little live. You know, I ain't been feeling. I don't know if you guys heard me, but I ain't really been feeling it lately. On sometimes doing videos, man. I've been really beat with work and other things going on in my life, and just wasn't really feeling it. So my numbers went down drastically, man. Like it's still saying a plus, but way down compared to what it was. You know what I'm saying? Uh, just I was at over the last 28 days, I was like almost 80,000 views, and now I'm down to like what is it? Uh, I'm down to like I'm down to 54,000, I think it is. And then I was plus 601 watch hours over the last 28 days, and obviously the days go by, so it's always it's gonna go up and down. You know what I mean? But anyways, the last 28 days I had like 601 watch hours. Now it's down to like 430. So you're talking almost 200 watch hour difference over the last 28 days. And then my subs were like 231 or something like that, plus 219, something like that. And now I'm down to like 166. So I took a big hit, right? What did it do? Lou, the Warriors breaking my heart. They're breaking your heart. Why? Because are you a Kings fan? Uh, um, yeah, I don't make anything yet, bro. I don't make anything yet because there's a criteria you got to meet with YouTube. You got to hit 1,000 subscribers, which I have that. I have like 1,200. But whatever comes first, either 10 million views of shorts or 4,000 watch hours. And so I'm like only halfway there on that. I just barely crossed 2,000 watch hours. Like I think it was what's today? Friday now, early Friday, late Wednesday, early Friday. I mean, late Thursday, early Friday morning now. Um, I think it was Tuesday, maybe Monday. It might have even been Sunday, bro. I've been so burnt out lately, at work and shit, man. It could have been Sunday. Um, I had 2004 or 2006 watch hours, and then then you'll make money. But 80,000 views, I'm not really sure how much you would make off that. And then plus that's like that was 80,000 views with everything I dropped in those 28 days. So those were pre-recorded videos, those were shorts, and those were live streams. You know what I mean? So it's a combination of everything. Something is beeping. Yeah, it's my door. I got it open. I'm about to hop out. It's just I got the key on. I got the key on. I was charging the phone up because I came out to make a little errand real quick, and it's late. But anyways, I was about to hop out. I came and grabbed me something to eat, man. It's hella late to eat, but I haven't ate nothing today yet. So the monster woke up and was growling and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, well, it's not over yet. Funny money. You know what I'm saying? It's the Warriors up 3-2, but they're going back to Oakland. I keep saying Oakland, back to San Francisco, and then if the Kings win that, then they go back to Sacramento. And the Kings are the third seed, so they've made a big turnaround since last year. You know what I mean? I like the Kings too. They're not my favorite team though. My Warriors, Warriors always been my favorite team. I remember different times in the pen, like a lot of the dudes from the LA area or down south, like just in passing, because we conversate. We do some conversating, even though we're from so-called different parts of the state, right? And what I mean by so-called, because that fake, hatred that that hatred you're supposed to have because da da da. You know what I mean? But anyways, a couple of them had told me because I had been on different yards with these cats at different times and slept near them in like the gym and things like that. But I remember one told me, "Oh yeah, you probably were a Kings fan back in the day when the Kings were, battling the Lakers in the playoffs. That's when the Kings had Vladdy and they had Chris Webber and Doug Christie and Bobby Jackson and Jason Williams and I said Doug Christie, right? Corliss Williamson, and they had uh, Pejo Stojakovic and Turkaloo and all them dudes. And I was like, nah. I go, nah. I've always been a Warrior fan. That's why the logo I got on my hand, tattooed on my hand, of the A's and the Warriors are both from the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Because I can remember back to like 80 with the A's, I go back to like 85, definitely 86. I remember well. But with the Warriors, like 80, 84, 85. You know what I mean? Big Lou, did you retire from the gang life? I'm retired from all life. I'm retired from all life. Yeah, I don't do. Yeah, I'm not active. I don't go. I don't report. I'm not in and out no more. You know what I'm saying? It's done with all that. I've been out 6 years. July makes 6 years. You know what I mean? To each his own, bro. This is only one thing I will say about folks that are involved in doing their thing still. If you're gonna do it right. Don't half step on shit, because that's when you're gonna find yourself in a predicament, like some people will say, in a pickle. You know what I'm saying? In a bind. You know what I mean? Anything that anybody does in life, do it to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I always say, don't be one of those first guys that's quick to point the finger. Like, I'm not talking about telling. But what I mean by is, well, yeah, it is telling in a sense. It's telling within your own peoples. You know what I mean? Like your own collective. Like, oh, Big Lou's oversleeping. Oh, Big Lou didn't make his bed. Oh, Big Lou don't got his light on. Big Lou didn't this. Big Lou didn't do that. And then, that's just a little example. That's not really what I mean. I'm talking about more bigger things in the criminal life, because what ends up happening is, if you're one of those dudes that's always quick to condemn somebody, what could happen is that same person that you're trying to point the finger at and say, oh, he got to go for whatever reason, might end up being your boss one day. You know what I'm saying? And if that individual knows that you were trying to politic against him for his demise or being removed or anything like that, oh, they're gonna hold that grudge and they're gonna get that ass at one point. At some point. Of course they probably won't do it themselves. They'll have somebody else do it, but you won't even know it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And that happens. So, I always say this, and I said it earlier in the shorter, and then one of the video I did earlier today, that you hear this shit all the time about, oh man, well, if it was you in that position looking at 50 years, da da da. Okay, Right. I mean, yeah, that's fucked up looking at 50 years, but what were you doing to receive that 50 years? You know what I'm saying? Like anybody knows that when you're dealing with crime, that going to jail and going to prison is part of it. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're doing violent stuff, then you know that you know you can get broke off and stretched out. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention the other part of it, like when you hear all these guys complaining, oh man, they did me dirty. They took everything I had and left me with nothing. Okay, don't get me wrong, the stories are fucked up, right? Because a lot of the stories I do believe, maybe not entirely or fully, but the gist, the major issues or the major points of the story. But these motherfuckers can't tell me that at no time did they not see people backstabbing other people and betraying them and throwing them to the wolves and fucking disloyalty and all that shit. None of these motherfuckers can tell me they never seen somebody else get mistreated. You know what I'm saying? Because before you become, let's talk about if it's the Italianos, the Sicilianos, they take an oath, right? A blood oath. Okay, now over here in Cali, there's a couple groups, they take an oath too, right? And the thing is that you're an associate before you become a member, a full member, right? So there's no way you can't not tell me. I mean, unless you're just that naive and that gullible of a motherfucker, right? You cannot tell me that you've never seen people get treated fucked up or get backstabbed or betrayed or whatever the fuck, right? So I always say motherfuckers can't keep using them excuses, man, because at the end of the day, if you took an oath, especially if you took the oath of secrecy, of staying legit and solid, uh, you didn't take an oath to that whoever that whoever's in the position of leadership for your crew or your family or your whatever it's called, your organization. You didn't take an oath to them personally. You didn't take an oath to a Bacardi rum. You know what I'm saying? Rum Bacardi. You took an oath to whatever that entity as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers, and like I said, don't get me wrong. Are the stories fucked up? Yes, of course they are. You know what I mean? Another thing too is that these motherfuckers too, like I just mentioned a little while ago about motherfuckers don't jump the gun to condemn somebody, to fucking throw them to the wolves, to uh, lead them to their demise. You know what I'm saying? On say a removal or getting removed or getting hit with a piece, behind the walls or any of that shit. Because that motherfucker, he might not fall off like you thought he was, or like you were politicking with others against him, and then all of a sudden, in the fast forward 5 years in the future, now he's running, or he's a captain, or he's got power now. What's up, Michael Moormile? You know what I mean? So that stuff, a lot of that shit, man. I just don't. I don't buy all that. And then I heard today somebody talking about, well, I didn't take the oath, so that's different. He took an oath. No, it ain't no difference, man. You grew up in the street. You knew the street code, the code of the street. You know the rules. You know what the street rules are. What people look down on. What they fucking question. What this and what that. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing actual, armed robberies. You're doing bank robberies. You're doing, assaulting people. You're shooting people. You know what I'm saying? You're baseball batting people. You're hitting them with pipes. All kinds of shit. Come on, man. You know what I mean? Come on with that shit, man. There's too many fucking excuses and too many fucking people, uh, too many people co-sign their bullshit. You know what I'm saying? In other words, everything's minimized all the time. It's always the victim stance. Everybody's scum. Everybody's garbage. Everybody's fucking trash, and they're the hero. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You hear it from all of them. Well, just about all of them. They're the hero. Everybody else is garbage. Everybody else is scum. Everybody else is trash. Everybody else is bullshit. Whatever. You know what I mean? It gets. I mean, it's to the point now, and it's not just this. It's not just the so-called mob genre. It's a lot of different genres. The hip hop genre, the prison genre, even the dog genre, the American bully genre. The man, dude, it's a lot of scandalous shit going on, and it's across the board. It's across the board. You know what I mean? It's enough's enough. People need to wake up, and I don't know what it is. They're just so entertained with the shit, or you know what I mean? I don't know. I can't call it like an alcoholic, but if they're just that much entertained with this shit, they like to roll with it. You know what I mean? Did you drop out the gang life in prison? No, that's not what I said. What I said was I'm not active on the streets. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, that's one thing that's different with the prison system. I mean, excuse me, the organized crime over here in California and the organized crime, the, the Italians is that over here the inside runs the outside, right? Uh, for them, you could be the legitimate official boss, but because you're busted, you're not really running the day to day operation. So you don't really have say so like that, even though you're the boss. You know what I mean? So in that sense, it's a little different. But most of the guys that are captains when they go in, they usually either a acting captain will take over their crew, and then when they eventually get out, they're back down to soldier. You know what I mean? But over here in Cali, it's you're locked up. You're if you're in a position, a high ranking position, part of the say the inner council, the general council, or high command. Uh, and I'll just go that far. I'm not going to go farther into it, but that's 15. That's 310. That's 15 positions. You got two reserves. That's 15 positions. Those are the highest positions. Once you parole, well, at that time, Pelican Bay was headquarters, right? Now everybody got kicked out the shoe, and there's no longer the shoe like it was before. But at one time, Pelican Bay was headquarters, and if you had one of those 15 positions, when you left Pelican Bay and say you went to San Quentin for medical or out to court, you would basically lose that position until you got back to the Bay. And then if you leave this to the street and you had one of those positions, uh, you would no longer hold that position, and you'd be considered you'd be still considered a high ranking member, but the terms change. And I don't want to get all into all that stuff. I don't talk about all that. You think if you would go to prison, you think the gang will attack you for leaving? Leaving what? Or, is that a 49er hat or is that a Kansas City? Oh, that's a 49er hat. Are you from Northern California, Saul? Let's see. You think if you would go to prison, you think if you would go to prison, you think the gang will attack you for leaving? Well, yeah, that's usually how it works. I mean, if you desert, or they consider that. If I understand correctly what you're saying, for leaving, dropping out, whatever, yeah, you'd be assaulted. Yeah, no doubt about it. You'd have to be on your toes and try to strike before they strike you. Um, but yeah, there's a lot. But things have changed big time here in California now. Since the end of the so-called end of hostilities, the so-called peace treaty. Like what I was speaking about, Pelican Bay is no longer okay. I'm from Roseville. Okay, so you're not too far from me. Uh, that's Roseville is Placer County. Um, since things changed in California, everybody got kicked out the shoe, like I mentioned earlier. Now you got guys from certain groups that are certain organizations that are out on the yards together on the same yards that say, at one point in time it was an on-site thing, and you knew already what to do. Now things are different. It's all about making the money, keeping the peace, and let them wheels turn of making the money. You know what I'm saying? So things are big time change now, and I'm glad that I'm no longer on parole or going in prison, because the way I was schooled is exactly the opposite of what they're doing now. And Yeah, I really there's an end game to all this shit. Besides making the money and keeping the peace like that, there's an end game, and I don't want to speak too much. I try not to speak about active stuff, because you can't be on here talking about active stuff. If that's the case, you're really gonna fucking put yourself in a bad position. You know what I'm saying? So I tend to leave that shit alone. Just like you won't hear me saying names of groups. I don't say the actual names. If you know, you know. If you don't, go Google it and look it up. And it's not hard to find. And but still, nonetheless, even though it's been reported many times over, and there's a lot of literature on it, documentaries, actual documents, magazine articles, newspaper articles, this or that. I'm cool. I still don't say it. You know what I mean? I still don't say it. Um, that's just me. That's how I want to roll. That's how I would like to keep it. You know what I mean? And it's just the right thing to do. There's no need to be out here talking about, oh, homeboy from blah blah blah. Yeah, he doing this, he doing that. He's on this yard. I'm cool with all that. My brother was attacked for leaving. I hate gangs. What did he leave? Well, never mind. I don't want to know. I don't want to get in all to all. I don't want to get into all that because, like I just said, I don't. I'll tell some prison stories and I'll try to put it out there so that youngsters and young men can get it, man, and try to make a change before they end up going down that route. And it's not too late to change even then. But like for me, the light bulb didn't go off for me until I was like 38, 39, where I was like, I humbled myself and I took a job as a dishwasher. And I always told myself, oh, like that to me, that's working at McDonald's. And I would always be like, no, never. You know what I'm saying? Never. Last time I had a job like that, I was like 16. You know what I mean? But I did it and it helped me. And that was just the tip of the iceberg as far as humbling myself to make different types of changes. But you can't see my way don't work. And most people's ways don't work because if it worked, then they wouldn't be it's that old saying, you can't expect a different result if you keep doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. If that makes sense to anybody. It was warm today. Yeah, so I try to stay away from certain topics. You don't necessarily got to say the names of things and of organizations and of crews of this and that. You know what I mean? It's very easy to put your point across or whatever you're trying to say without having to go down that route. It's just that simple. You know what I mean? Um, but it, like this is social media. You know what I mean? This thing is, YouTube is monitored by, not only the YouTube police, right? They got their own little their own crew that monitor this channel, but then you got law enforcement that be monitor. Yeah, I'm having a hard time pronouncing that word. Monitoring. Jeez, I can't even say it. Monitoring the channel as well for whatever they're looking for. You know what I mean? My brother said after a while in prison, he started feeling worthless and felt he didn't accomplish nothing in life. Uh, yeah. I mean, I could see where he could probably feel like that. You know what I mean? I don't know how much time he actually did. Sorry about that. My bad. I don't know. Actually, I don't know how much time he actually did. Um, but yeah, I mean, did he do a long stretch, a one-time stretch, or did he do a couple stretches, or did he do like me, in and out, couple years here, couple years there, stay out for a couple years, go back for a couple years? You know what I mean? I did that a few times. Well, I did a couple small terms, 16 months. I did 16 months with half, which I did 10 months, and then 2 years with half, and then I did 6 years with half, and then I did four a couple times with half. Um, and I think, somebody said, "Oh, you did all 12 straight." I said, "No, it was, on the installment plans, life installment plans, But I think that's worse because every time you get out and you get busted and you got to start over. You lose all your clothes, you lose your cars, you lose whatever it might have been you accomplished in that little bit of time. You know what I mean? I would rather be in there for 8 years straight or 10 years straight or 12 years straight. Um, okay, he was in and out too. Yeah. I only remember a couple guys from Roseville. I remember a couple cats from Lincoln. And I'm trying to think, what's that other? There's another little town up there. Bud Sant. How you doing, Big Lou? I'm good. How you doing? Thank you for dropping in. Um, You know, a lot of people, they stop in, and they drop in people's comments, and they start, rah rah bullshit with the tough guy shit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that always, the saying people always says, oh, if you're really about that, people that are about that, they don't talk about it, they just handle it. And there's a lot of truth to that, but you do get guys that sometimes will be real rambunctious about it. They'll be real flamboyant about it. They'll be real, they'll let it be known. They'll be loud about it. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that they're not about it, that they won't smash you. But I'm talking about those ones that, that never been to jail, never been to prison, never even really been in like brawls or melees or been, let alone had a knife pulled on, that's being stabbed, but have a knife even pulled on you, shot at, anything like that. But they're on here and they're talking about rats, this, fuck them, and burn them all, and blah, blah, blah. And they do it all the time, every opportunity they get. And that's just a crock of shit. Because like I said earlier in my video, anybody that's about that, like that, they might let it be known once or maybe twice. They might say, fuck rats, I don't dig them, right? But they're not going to keep every freaking opportunity they get. Every time, they're not only, they're jumping on the live stream with the link and they're joining the content creator on his screen and they're doing it there. And then they go on the freaking in the comment section and they're doing it there. And if they have their own channel, then they're doing it there and they're dropping shorts and they're, talking all this shit. And some of these motherfuckers that talk all that shit too, they're fucking at the same time threatening to call the police on people. It's fucking comical. It's comical. I always say that, you could be sitting on that bus stop, on that bench at the bus stop, or on the subway, or the BART, right? You might be from different places, the BART or wherever. And you find out that guy sitting next to you, so somehow you find out that he's a weirdo, that he did some shit to some kids or a lady, or, or he's a rat, right? And these motherfuckers ain't gonna harm a hair on that motherfucker's head. Matter of fact, they're gonna do all they can to get the fuck away from them, so they're not either seen by them because it's gonna look bad because they didn't do nothing, or they don't want to be just put in that position, period. I'm doing good. My Nuggets are in the playoffs. The Nuggets are the #1 seed, ain't they, in the West? Prison to me is savage, but the streets is just as savage or even more. I knew guys that were straight killers and never been. Yeah, see, that's another thing. You got guys, just people in general, because they're from Oakland, they're a bad motherfucker. Because they're from San Francisco, they're a bad motherfucker. Because they're from Detroit, they're a bad motherfucker. Because they're from Chicago, they're a bad motherfucker. Because they're from Miami, they're a bad motherfucker. They're from fucking Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Fort Worth, Texas. They a bad motherfucker, right? They from Brooklyn, New York. They a bad motherfucker. They from Newark, New Jersey. Bad motherfucker, boy. Boston, Massachusetts. Bad motherfucker. Baltimore, Maryland. Another bad motherfucker. Providence, Rhode Island. Bad motherfucker, right? Richmond, Virginia. Bad mother. You know what I mean? Memphis, Tennessee. Bad motherfucker, right? Okay, those places are tough, right? No doubt. But just like Saul said right there, he knew straight killers and never been to prison. So there's motherfuckers that are really about it. There's some crazy motherfuckers that'll take a knife and fucking slice your throat from neck to, from ear to ear and give you a Kool-Aid smile, right? There's dudes that'll take a knife or a razor blade and slice you right across your cheek and give you $1.50, right? You got guys that'll blast up a whole house. They don't give a fuck, right? You got motherfuckers that are straight rat piece of shit motherfuckers in all those cities. And you got motherfuckers that are straight killers in all them cities. It's not where you're from, it's where you're at. You know what I mean? And people get the shit so twisted. because they're from a big city. They're tougher than a motherfucker from say a dude that works on the farm in Nebraska or something. You know what I mean? It's comical the way people think. Holding it down in the bleachers. Sole, what's going on, Bob? Yeah, West champions. Mm-mm. How are they the West champions? In order to be the West champions, they gotta play the beat in the West. They gotta win the Western Conference Finals. And right now, the defending champs is the Warriors, so they're also the defending Western champions. Yeah, that's not even determined yet because they're still going. Or Kentucky, Louisville. You're from Louisville. You're a bad motherfucker. You from Lexington, Kentucky. You a bad motherfucker. But you said our Kentucky. So are you talking about like Prunedale? I don't know if you're actually from the state of Kentucky or if you're talking like Prunedale. You know, that's by Salinas, California, in the Salad Bowl area. The homies call it Prune-tucky. They said the homies over there gangbanging in Dickies and Ben Davis with cowboy boots. I don't know how true that is, but it's supposed to be a little clown or something. You know what I mean? And I don't know how true that is, but it's just something. When I read that right now in the thing right there, you know, I figured, you know what I'm saying, I'd say something, you know what I mean, about that, asking you if, you know, that's what it is or not. You know what I mean? You see me on the phone, dude? Come on, man. Damn, man, what's wrong with people? Man, unbelievable, man. Motherfucking people just they have no brains, man. I swear. People don't have no brains, man. They want to ask their stupid ass question, no matter how dumb and irrelevant it is to what you got going on, and don't even make sense. You know what I mean? It's just, I mean, I hate to say it, man, but I get sick of motherfuckers sometimes. You know what I mean? I get tired of people, man. Sometimes I have to deal with people and their nonsense, man. It's too much sometimes, man. Huh. If you notice, Lou, the world is changing. Almost every country has homicidal maniacs now that are killing people. Like killing us. Yeah. You know what? Somebody put on I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but it's on the internet. And man, this shit was in my head for like, man, probably like a week. And I kept thinking about it. And I didn't really know what was going on because of the language I didn't understand. They were speaking Portuguese. They were in Brazil. And a guy, and you know, and I'm listening to him talk, and I'm trying to read the bottom of the caption, and then I noticed where he's sitting at, and he was sitting in a makeshift grave, right? And he was sitting with his ass on the edge of it, and his feet it was a shallow one, and his feet were in the grave, right? And it probably was like, I don't know, 2.5 feet deep, maybe. Yeah, exactly, Saul. Exactly. I'm gonna touch on that right now. And you know, the dude was explaining like how they're mad at him because of something they said he did, but it didn't have nothing to do with him. It was like guilty by association, but he was gonna pay for it, basically. And then all of a sudden the scene changes, and now the dude's laying in the grave, right? He's laying in the grave, and the other guy that was videotaping him, he's got the machete out, and it just shit didn't even look real, bro. And he's like going down with the machete on his neck, right? And then all of a sudden you start hearing him gargle, because, you know, like not gargle, but like choking. It sounds like he has liquid in his throat, and it's the blood. He's choking on his own blood, and it just looked weird, right? I mean, like unreal. And then he puts one of his hands go up, and the dude's with the machete, ding, ding, and you hear it clinking, right? And all of a sudden you see two fingers fly off, And I'm like, what the fuck, man? And that shit was stuck in my head for like a week, bro, because a homeboy of ours was born in Mexico, and he got deported, and he ended up, I don't know exactly what happened, but they ended up fucking chopping his head off. So when I seen that, that's what was in my mind, thinking about Weddle. And that shit fucked me up a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? I was like thinking about it all the time. And then in that same video, like Saul said, Brazil and Mexico, and sure enough, it was a couple different Brazilian clips, and then it was a few different Mexico clips, and excuse me. And the same thing, the Mexican ones, they're telling the dude, I guess he got caught stealing some money, or oh, no, what it was, the first one was he called and told on them. He tried to tell, and they grabbed him, took him out somewhere, had him on his knees, and they started doing the same thing. They chopped his freaking head off. And it's like, these guys are just wicked with it. Did you see the one in Mexico where they're wearing people's skin face? Like, no, I ain't seen that. But then Ecuador, they had those riots in the prison, right? And I'm from my understanding, I think there were Mexican people in the Ecuadorian prison from the, I guess, cartels or whatever. And there was some feuding factions, different factions that had different parts of the prison, and what they ended up doing was breaking into the opposition's area, and these motherfuckers started starting fires, and they had weapons in there, right? And they cut some of the dudes' heads off, and they were kicking their fucking heads around like soccer balls and shit. And it just so happened that my boss is from there, and he still has strong ties there. He goes there like 3 or 4 times a year, if not more, because he has business over there, and his parents still live there. And one of his friends worked in the prison, so he got all his video footage, and then he sent it to me. And I wasn't interested in all that. You know what I mean? I don't want to see all that shit. But definitely gruesome. It don't even look real. The heads don't even look real. They look like some shit you see for Halloween. You know what I mean? At the Halloween store or something. Didn't look real. You know what I mean? It's something else, man. Did you see the one in Mexico? And Mexico ain't no joke, too, man. The thing about them cats, man, they'll fucking, and that's the thing too, with like Sicilian and Italians from over there. When they, you did them dirty, or they think you did them dirty, they will go way above and beyond to try to get you back if they can't find you through your family. You know what I mean? And they don't care if it's a kid, a lady, a grandparent, they don't give a fuck. Also, the kidnappings. Those 2 places I will put. Same thing. If they think that they suspect you're from, United States, they automatically think you got money, they'll make a move. And they got people all over that are just peeping out the scene. Yeah, Brazil is brutal. Then they had some other parts too, like say older guy got caught talking to like an underage girl. I seen some Asians. I don't know if they're from Japan or Korea. I'm not sure. I seen two of those, and then I seen a couple of Brazilians. And man, I mean, they didn't stab or you have a machete or use guns. This was just beating. And matter of fact, one of the dudes had a broomstick up his ass. And fuck, man, every time they I wasn't controlling the remote, right? Somebody else was doing it, and they kept bouncing around to all these different things. I wasn't really paying attention. I was doing other things, but every now and then I'd look up. Every time they ran that thing in him, oh man, he screamed like, Yeah, I heard about that incident. Sad that the respect for life is so cheap in those countries. Yeah, that's crazy. And that's why, I mean, Bob, you're over there in New Zealand, but for us that are here, we should be grateful. You know what I mean? I mean, New Zealand is not no. I mean, I don't think it's a third world country. I think you know what I mean. I don't, to my knowledge, it's not. Um, but even places that are more considered Western beliefs. They do have different rules and laws sometimes too. You know what I mean? You can't take shit for granted. You know, you can't take you can't take oh you can't take things for granted, man. Your freedom, your liberties, your I mean, even here, like Saul said in another comment, he said, how it's changing. Almost every country has homicidal maniacs now that are killing people, like killing insects, and it's here too, man. Just watch fucking Dateline every day. Dateline, they can have 15 shows in a row, and whatever comes on, it's a different murder. Some of these guys fucking do it multiple times. And these ain't guys that been to the joint. Some of them are, but not. Some of them just never been caught. It's a crazy world, man. That's why I always say. That's why I try to put. I say it as much as I can on here. When you get in your fucking car, lock your doors immediately. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you got motherfuckers that'll be hiding somewhere. You don't even see them. This is mostly for females, but the dudes too. That are hiding off in the cuts somewhere real close to you, and you can't see them because you're not looking around. For one thing, your awareness is not up to par, and you're just not expecting no shit like that. But a motherfucker will be right there, and he'll be plotting, waiting for somebody that looks just like you and acting the way you're acting, so they can catch you off guard as you get in your car, and they just slip right up and boom, open your door. Now you're a sitting duck. You know what I'm saying? They got the upper hand. You didn't even get to get your keys out of your purse, out of your pocket. They're not in ignition. The car is not started. So what you gonna do? So I always say this: as soon as you get in that car, man, lock them motherfucking doors. You know what I'm saying? Lock them doors immediately. Um, and I always say this too: you get a bad feeling about something, you get a gut feeling about something that ain't right. Take that gut feeling for what it's worth, because wouldn't you rather be safe than sorry? You know what I mean? Wouldn't you rather, you never know what could happen, but you know, not to say they can't shoot you through the windows and all that, but some people might think, even though they're crazy and lunatics, some of them still think before they act. Grateful to stay in New Zealand. Gun violence is sporadic. You can really enjoy life here, Big Lou. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Cartels are expanding all over the world, and they're dispatching. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like I mentioned, the most of the cartels from the Latin countries are coming from Mexico, and they're coming from Colombia. But you got them in Guatemala, and you got them in Honduras, and you got them in fucking Panama, and you got them in Bolivia and Peru. You know what I mean? And then too, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico they're not really considered cartels. They're more gang, but they got the hookups with, Dominicans. They got the hookups with the Colombians. You know what I mean? So there's chain there's, or how to say, there's like a chain type allegiance, or not allegiance, but affiliate. You know what I mean? That work together. Oh yeah, no doubt. You got the Japanese. You know what I mean? You got Australia, they got their guys. England got their guys. Ireland, Scotland got their guys. You know, New Zealand got their guys. You know what I mean? Shit. And it's international. They're not just, you know, they got them. You know, you got cats that they're doing business with Italians. You know, from Japan, from here, from there. Um, this is nothing that I know offhand. I mean, this is nothing that I know for sure. But come on, just think about it. You know what I mean? People like to get high. You know, and it's not just about United States. United States that's probably the best money they want. You know, U.S. currency, but you know they can still get euros and rubles and all that other types of money. You know what I mean? Most definitely. What's the main sport over there, Bob? Is it soccer or is it rugby? United States is turning into a second world country. Second world country? I never heard it put like that. I've only heard third world. So you got Floyd Mayweather is going to be fighting John Gotti. John Gotti, okay, let me clarify this. So you got Junior Gotti or John Jr. or John Gotti Jr., right? To be technical, he's not a junior. John Gotti, the father, the one they called the Teflon Don, the Dapper Don, his name was John Joseph Gotti. He's born in 1940. He is a junior. His father was Big John, right? The son that's 50, I think he's born in 64. The one they call John Jr. or Junior Gotti, his name is John A. Gotti, John Angelo Gotti. So their middle names are not the same. Therefore, he's not a junior and the dad's not a senior. But he has a son named John, and they call him John the Third. And then John Jr., the one they call John Jr., born in 1964, has a brother named Peter, and Peter has a son named John. And John's currently in the pen. And then they have a sister named Victoria, and I believe one of her sons is named John. I know one's Carmine, one's John, and there's three sons. Yeah, so everybody's named John. Roy DeMeo. What about Roy DeMeo? You see, 501 Deportees from Australia, bikies, OMC members are bringing their cartel links here. Big Lou. Rugby is the number one sport here, brother. Okay, yeah. Roy DeMeo was a nut. He was he was he was under Nino Gadji. He was in Nino Gadji's crew, and then he had his own little crew of guys that were not made guys, but they were well, some of them they weren't made then, but they're made now. The guys they call the Gemini twins, Joey Testa and Anthony Center, and they're not even with the Gambinos, they're with the Lucchese's now. But they're doing all day in the pen. That boy was sick with it. Yeah, they were all sick with it. The Gemini twins, Chris Rosenberg, Roy's cousin, the one they called Dracula. I can't think of his real name right now. Joseph, I think it was Joseph something. Yeah, they were, and then Roy was a apprentice for a butcher when he was younger, and so he learned how to they would pop somebody in the head and then flip them upside down and wrap them with the towel, and then they put them in the bathtub, and they basically let that motherfucker drip dry. You know what I'm saying? Until no more liquids leaked out. You know what I mean? And they were killing a bunch of people, man. A lot of times, I don't even think it was warranted. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers got sick with it. Excuse me. Even Sammy the Bull tells a story one time that they're sitting somewhere talking, and Roy's there, and Roy starts looking around, and most of the people in the diner is like a restaurant or diner. Most of the people are older people, gray hair, white hair people. And he said Roy DeMille was looking around, and he got like a weird look on his face. Somehow he asked him, "What's up? What are you looking at?" or something. And he starts talking about how it would be good or easy, or I forgot exactly how he said it. Either it was good or how he was thinking how easy it would be to take all them people out. And Sammy the Bull's like, "Oh, this guy's sick." But Sammy's a good lying motherfucker. Anyways, I'm not saying he's lying about that, but he tries to lie about a lot of shit that's. He's trying to change history, and he knows that none of the old timers, because back then when he flipped, he was 40. So he knows that none of the old timers that were around back then, like Patsy Conti and Butch Correo and Jimmy Brown Fiala and uh, uh, Joe Gallo and Piney Armani and Neil Della Croce and Carmine Fatico and Tato Arello and all them dudes, they're not around no more. They're dead. You know what I mean? They're dead, and he knows the ones that are still around, like Jeannie Gotti and who else is around from back then? Danny Marino. He knows they're not going to talk. You know what I mean? So he's literally saying different things now on his podcast, on his YouTube channel, than he had in the book. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. The boy was easy, and you said easy. What about easy? That boy was sick with it, and then you put easy. I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, it got to the point where Roy Roy made a mistake. One of his boy that he was considered his stepson or something like that, Chris Rosenberg. He would go by Chris DeMeo. He was in Florida and killed a Cuban or it might have been a Colombian. Yeah, I think it was a Colombian. He killed the dude. He was tripping on coke, I think, or it was a deal, and he had just ended up robbing him. I forgot how it went, but anyways, word got up to New York, and they told Roy that, hey, he got to go. So he ended up killing him. But then, just before that happened, or just after it happened, he noticed a guy snooping around the neighborhood, and he thought he was a Cuban or a Colombian. I forgot what nationality the guy they killed was. And they chased this dude down, and they kill him. His name ended up being Nicholas Guido, I think it was. No. That's a different thing. Fuck, what was his name? Anyways, they ended up killing the motherfucker, and so Big Paul ended up saying, "Yeah, this guy got to go. It's too much heat. I'm fighting these cases." And then Big Paul had got busted before the commission case. He got indicted on the case with Nino Gadji and Roy DeMeo. And they say the word that's been passed down, passed around from back then was that they thought he was gonna flip, or or suspected that he might flip or something like that. Anthony, I forgot his last name. He's in that life. Roy said, "Easy to kill those older people." Yeah, something like that. Anthony, I forgot his last name. Ruggiano. You talking about? Is he on the YouTube now with the glasses? I think you're talking about Ruggiano. Big Lou. How is Nelson and Carlos? I'm still on. Carlos, I just spoke to him about a half an hour before I came on. He's doing good. And Nelson's in Florida working. I think in Florida. But yeah, we'll be hopping back on there soon. It just, it was one of them things. Take a break. Take a break because of work. Nelson's real busy. You know what I mean? And so sometimes, after a while, he takes a break. You know what I mean? Pretty much. Okay, yeah. Anthony Ruggiano. So Anthony Ruggiano was Fat Andy's son. Fat Andy's from the Gambinos. He passed away in 99, I think it was. 99. He his dad was a monster in that life, a heavy hitter, you know what I'm saying? Anthony, he's done some things too. He never was made, but he was proposed twice from his stories, and he was with the business. I mean, they say he was with the business. I'm not here to say he was or he wasn't. You know what I mean? Hey, what the heck, man? What is it? Hey, what the heck, man? What is that about? She barked. I don't see nothing. Sometimes though, they hear a little something, they start barking. You know what I mean? I mean, when I say they, I'm talking about dogs. They can hear something from a certain noise. You know what I mean? That triggers them or something. They know something else is going on, and you don't have no clue because you're not. You don't got those. You don't have those. How do you say that? You don't have those. Uh, basically your senses are not enhanced like theirs are because we're humans. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I got another video too that's in the process of being dropped right now about puppies. It's like I did a live a couple Sundays back, and it was about what to expect when you get a puppy, what to do, what not to do, and stuff like that. And I was only, basically it was like part one only. So I was gonna finish. I mean, well, I am finishing it. It just takes a while for it to go through. Dogs sometimes see bad spirits or demonic forces, and they do, and they sense it off people too. I just got done telling somebody that today. If your dog acts strange towards somebody, well, you think it's strange, and they're growling at somebody, and they're acting weird, is because they sense that person is a jive ass turkey man, and they probably have some, like you said, demonic forces. You know what I mean? And take your dog's word for it, or their bark, or their growl for it. You know what I mean? Your dog's always trying to please you. You know what I mean? Uh, you know, they watch you, they pay attention. They might even sneak up on you, like and like spy on you. You know what I mean? Sounds funny, but true. Mm. Big Lou is great to hear. They're doing well. Let them know. I said, okay, I will. But you can if you can always go over there and drop a comment over there too, and Nelson will see it. I haven't spoke to Nelson in a minute, but I spoke to Carlos today, and then I spoke to him a week ago, and I got to reach out to Nelson though. Are you still doing things on your channel, Bob? I don't even get notifications no more, so I don't know if you're not doing it anymore or if I have to redo it, resubscribe, and drop the what do you call that? Where you resubscribe and then hit the notification bell again. All sometimes you got to do that every so often. What else was I gonna say? Man, it's already 1 o'clock over here in California. It's Friday morning. Michael Moormill is tapping in from New York, and so it's 4 a.m. over there. Hi, Bob from the. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? And fuck, I gotta get up in a couple hours. Fuck. I hate how that happens to me sometimes. And then normally, well, I've been doing it since I started this new project. It's a 6 to 8 week project, and we're on week 4 right now. Big Lou, I seen Puerto Rican call each other papi. No, I don't say that. I'm from the West Coast. I'm from, you know what I'm saying? I don't run Puerto Rican. I mean, I'm Puerto Rican. All the homies know I'm Puerto Rican, but I don't run Puerto Rican. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm proud of my bloodline. It's well known. I'm even called Boricua. That's one of my nicknames. But you know, when you're from Northern California, man, the race thing is not looked at. You know, and there's a lot of Puerto Rican homies, a ton. Some people don't even know they're Puerto Rican. See, everybody's under the impression that everybody's Mexican. You know what I mean? You got a lot of homies that are Central American, you know, Nicaraguan, Nicaraguan, uh, uh, Honduran, you know, Guatemalan, Salvadorian. You know what I mean? A lot of Puerto Rican homies that are half Mexican, half Puerto Rican, straight Puerto Rican Portuguese. You know what I mean? I had a live with Sundown last Sunday. YouTube took it down twice. Oh shit, took it down twice. I haven't had a strike or nothing, but the other day I posted a thing about the fight, um, and it wouldn't post, and it said something about that I wouldn't get. It was something copyright, but it said that I wouldn't get a strike for it. No, I never been to Puerto Rico, but I want to go. My family, when they go, you know, I've always been on parole. Or this last time though, I just had too much responsibility with work, you know, with my position, that I couldn't take days like that. But yeah, one day I'll be there. Hmm. Um, and that's another thing too with fucking YouTube, man. It's like they're tripping on people you wouldn't think they would normally trip on. Like not the people, but the actions that they're, you know, striking you for or flagging you for. And then other people are saying blatant racist shit, disgusting, despicable shit, and that nothing happens to them. Oh, abusing their dog on the fucking lives, smacking I mean, literally punching the dog, kicking the dog, grabbing the dog by the neck, uh, you know, that type of shit. And nothing's done. What's the trip? Um, I don't get that shit. I don't understand how somebody could get so mad and be punching their dog and kicking their dog and acting like they're in a street fight with the motherfucking dog. You know what I mean? Or like it's the all out to the death fight. You know, you're grabbing the motherfucker by the neck, you're choking them. Like what the fuck? You know, who does that shit? I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, I've been mad where I yell at the motherfucker. What the fuck you doing? You know, I've been times where I smacked him on the butt, on the rear end, or on the nose, but not like a wild ass I'm trying to hurt you type shit. Just like to get your attention. Like, hey, no, you know what I mean? Or whatever it is. But damn, man, that's fucking crazy. He's just trying to whoop on a dog like as a person. That's crazy. Some people don't know. They don't appreciate their dog and know the value of your canine or your best friend. You know what I mean? Or loyal friend, I should say. But nothing like a dog, man. I know people like their cats and all that, but there's nothing like a dog. I got 3 of them right now. I got 2 of them that roll with me to work, roll with me everywhere, pretty much. And then I got another one that's the gray one I have named Daisy. She's 8.5 months old. It's her aunt, her mother's littermate sister. And then the reddish sable one I have, which is they also call Smut. His name's Champ. He's 4 months old. That's his great aunt. So we got some other things in the works too. So if you guys don't know, I'm part of the No Fly Zone Ricans. It's Nelson and Carlos, and Nelson's out of the Brooklyn. Carlos is from the Bronx, and then I'm from Northern California, right? Um, and you know, we got that channel. That was the main channel. And then this one here, you see in my title, it's got NFZR2. That stands for No Fly Zone Ricans 2. So it was just like a spinoff. You know what I'm saying? Like when, you know, I got the niche to make videos when the No Fly Zone weren't doing videos because of, you know, work schedules and things like that. I would come out here and do videos, and it started out real slow for a while. Then I got the first dog, Daisy, and I started climbing, you know. Um, so I want to say in 3 months, about 3 months, 3.5 months. So what is that? 3 months would be 12 weeks, and 3.5 would be 14 weeks. So in about 12 to 14 weeks, I've got over 1,000 subs. You know what I mean? The majority of them, probably 80%, at least 80%, and it might be more like 88%, of the subscribers I got were from doing shorts. You drop those little shorts and they help because it especially the more you do, they'll put you out there more. YouTube will put you out there more. And so, here somebody could be scrolling through some shorts, and then your little skit or whatever it is you're doing pops up, you know. And so for the last, okay, like I said, I've had Daisy now since she was a little over 4 months old, almost 5 months, and she's 8.5 now. So I've had her about probably like a week or two shy of excuse me, a week or two shy of having her for 4 months, something like that. Yeah, 4 months, 2 weeks, something like that. And anyways, so I've got like 1,000 subs, and I put the I put the oops, I put what was I say? Oh, I'll put the video, the little short video, and then I'll sometimes I'll say, oh, be sure to sub, like, and share the channel. Sometimes though, I don't even say that, and they just boom, you know what I mean? They sub, and sometimes I'll get only one sub. I've got as much as 14, 15 subs on one video. I think that's only happened once, but I've got a few times 10 and 11, and I got many times 8, 9 subs. So just imagine, you start going up pretty fast that way. Every short you're dropping, you're getting anywhere from, like I said, anywhere from 1 to 9 or 10 subs. You know what I mean? It started flying. It started flying, but like I had mentioned earlier, I hit that. And I did it like, I've been working this new project because this is our 4th week. In the 4 weeks, I've took a break like for sure 2 times, and I think it's 3 times for like 4 or 5 days without dropping anything but shorts. No pre-record, no lives. You know what I mean? And so, like I mentioned, I took that hit. My numbers went down pretty big, pretty drastically, even though it still says, a plus sign for what I got going on. It's not like it was. So I need to get back in the swinging things, and you know what I mean, get these videos, these pre-records out, and these live streams out, quick as pretty much, quick as possible, I guess. You know what I mean? But it's just a trip because some videos I'll get 40 views, 50 views. Some of them be 70, 80 views. You know what I mean? I got a few where I got over 100, 150, 180. Couple, I got some videos I got 2 something views, 3 something views, 300 something. I got one short from a while back. It was on what's his name? Joey Stacks and the big dude. What's his name from Strength Cartel? The big dude, the main guy. Anyways, they were gonna squab it off, and I got over. I think I got, last time I checked, it was like 4.5. I don't know, not a lot. Not, I almost said 4.5 million, but no, it was like 4,500 or something. Which at the time I only had like 160 subscribers, something like that. Lou, if you could travel the world, yeah. So besides going to Puerto Rico, the place I want to go is Sicily, Italy. That's number 1. Number 2, Scotland, Ireland, Wales. I like to see the countryside with the castles. And then pretty much all of Europe. You know what I'm saying? France, Spain. Not so much Germany, not the Eastern Europe, but Spain, France, Portugal, Ireland, England, Scotland, Wales. You know what I mean? And then Um, Probably inside the U.S. I want to go to New York, like Central Park, Times Square, the Bronx Zoo. Um, Also, what's it called? Anheuser Busch Studios or whatever. I think that's in. Oh man, what state is that in? Is that in Virginia? Anyways, yeah, I would like to go check out some of those places. Also, some parts of Texas, but definitely, like I said, New York, um, Times Square for sure. I had a dream one time I was in jail and it was me and the old lady. We were walking around Times Square and everybody was looking at us. You know what I mean? Like we were out of place or something, I guess. But I want to go check that out. What about you? Where would you like to go? And like when it comes to Mexico, I want to stay out of there. You know what I mean? It's just you hear all these stories with the cops, and you go take a leak in public, they snatch you up and take you to an ATM and force tell you to give them money and $700-800 American dollars just because get off scot clean and I guess it's worth it if you got it. But I mean, Europe, okay, yeah. So we got that in common. Oh, yeah, that's a trip. Uh, Definitely a trip. Uh, but I don't know about eating like all the delicacies and all that. Like some of those weird ones. Cool. I seen some weird ass ones. See, have you been to? No, I haven't. Yeah, that's way. And I got family down there too. I got family that I think they were living in Chicano Park at one time, but or that area, but they're in El Cajon. Wait. Lakeside or yeah, Lakeside or El Cajon. They're in one of those spots. And so I guess they like it down there. Uh, and then that's one aunt, and then the other aunt moved back up this way. Uh, Her son passed. One of her sons passed away. And then I got a couple cousins over there. They were like one was my age, like I think 2 years younger than me, and then the girl is man, my mind went blank and I can't even think of it. Valerie. Jesus, my mind went blank. She's a little bit younger than me, like maybe 6 years, 7 years. And then her little brother Dougie is way younger than me. He's like my nephew's age, 30, 31. See, 80% of cops in Mexico work with the mob. Yeah, they're corrupt, but yeah, they work with the mob. But on top of that, they'll work you too. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it is what it is. But yeah, all that stuff is the way they're doing things. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it alone because I don't want to talk about those type of things, politics and stuff. But there's definitely some fucked up shit going on, man. It's just I don't know. I don't even know where to like even try to begin to try to bring up things. It's just so fucking. It's just I don't know. I don't know. But it's fucked up. It's fucked up in the world. Like Saul said, or about the people, not only the ugliness and the killing like that of wild homicidal people, but there's so much fucking hate going on in this world, man. And oh man, I don't got time for it. You know what I mean? I don't got time for it, man. It's not. I don't get down like that. I don't think you should be hating people just because of the color of their skin or not even knowing the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect in being going to prison and doing a lot of prison time and being involved and around it. You start things start rubbing off on you. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But at the end of the day, you need to, depending on what it is, how far it's going when it comes to different things, you got to, it can be a messy situation. Yeah, we ain't going there. We ain't going there. So that's why I stopped. You know what I mean, I got all kinds of different views about things that agree with the Democrats, the things that agree with the Republicans. You know, a lot of times I find myself in the middle of it all. Like, in other words, I don't agree with either one of them. I'm more in the middle of my own shit. You know what I mean? The independent shit. I'm trying to hook up an interview with the Mexican comedian who stays here in New Zealand. Yeah, there's a comedian too that he's part Mexican too, but he's Puerto Rican and he's my cousin. And he's all pretty big now with all the Latin comedy stuff going around. Um, yeah, I'm gonna. I reached out to him already, and he said that when he got back from this tour he was doing, which was a military tour because he was in the Navy, he said he would, we could figure out something. But I never got back to him. Uh, and so there we are. But all I got to do is reach out again, and it should be good. You know what I mean? Um, I'm in the middle. Yeah, I'm in the middle on some of it. I'm not in the middle on all of it. I'm not registered as a Democrat or a Republican. I'm registered as a independent. I've only voted once. I never could before that because I was on parole. While you're on parole, you can't vote. I mean, you can't. But they'll give you your. Excuse me. Yeah, when you're on parole, you can't vote. But on probation, even felony probation, you can. Um, but yeah, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. Once you get off, it's a big difference as far as what I mean is when you get off of that parole, and then you can finally vote. It's a I don't know. I guess you could say it's a special occasion. You know what I mean? Because for so long you couldn't do this, and something simple like this. That's the thing too. When you here in Cali, when you get off paperwork, parole, now you're eligible to vote, right? That's one of your civil rights, right? When you're I don't know, am I saying that right? Like your constitutional rights, right? One of them is to vote and all that, right? So if we can get that back, how come we can't get our second amendment back? You know what I mean? To bear arms, we should be able to, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Um, yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. I'm tired. I'm starting to get so sleepy now, where I'm starting to not make sense. And before I before I talk, I'm starting to fall asleep. And like I said, I got to get up early at 4 o'clock in the morning, and that's only what 2 hours and 41 minutes from now. It'll be like that. By the time I get situated and lay down, it's gonna be like 1:40 probably. I get an hour and 20 minutes, if that. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and tap on out. Alarm clock will go off before I know it, and I think it's gonna be a rough day tomorrow. Even though it's Friday, it's gonna be a rough day because I'll be tired. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. Hopefully everything falls in the suit, and there we roll. I just roll with it. Lean with it, rock with it. You know what I mean? Get it over with and get it out the way. Move. Get out the way. Get out the way. Move. Yeah. Great chat, Big Lou. Bob Mari. Soleil. Okay, be safe. Get some rest. Good night, all. Good night, Michael Mormile. Bob. Saul. Who else do we have here? Let's see. Funny Money. So I already said Bud Sant. Bob Marley. Oh, what? Saul. Oh no. Oh man, I thought that was like a lawnmower. That's why you hear me go what? But yeah, that's everybody. I got everybody. But I appreciate everybody for stopping in, man. As always, you know what I mean. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Um, you know, uh, pass along the channel name to your peoples, your folks, and let us help us get further on down the Lake Yellow Brick Road with these views. You know what I mean? These actual watch hours of views. I mean, excuse me, these watch hours. You know what I mean? So I can get past that 4,000. Uh, because the 4,000 is going. I'm at like 2010. 4,000 is going to happen before 10 million short views, right? I think I'm only at like almost 200,000. You know what I mean? So, uh, yeah, the subs. I mean, not the subs, but the watch hours is what I need. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how I know I'm getting tired too, because I'm giggling. I'm giggling like a little schoolgirl. You know what I mean? And I know I'm feeling a little tired feeling. So again, thanks to everybody that tapped in. I appreciate everybody that's gonna watch this after it's uploaded by YouTube. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, with that being said, I'm gone.